Welcome back to the West Coast, episode 6, with me, MrSealyp. I have decided to start this particular episode with a little bit of contracting. I said I would do some. I have had a couple of comments left saying try to avoid doing contracting, see if you can do this one without it, because I do become mildly obsessive about doing contracts. However, I'm going to do a contract. This is for Robert Cook, so it would appear that even though we have 6 farms and 6 different farmers, some of these fields are owned by farmers who live further afield. So, further afield, excuse the pun. Anyway, so what we've got, Deutschfahrt Series 9, and that's the big old, my mind's gone blank. Is it Great Plains? I can never remember. So, let's get on with it. I'm not going to do the wait. It shouldn't actually take too long, hopefully. Oh, please tell me it's not the other. It's the other end, isn't it? Why have they put it there? I'm going to go out of the field. This is not going to work. And this is eating into my time. Oh, that might have helped a little bit actually. Oh, that's not too bad. Sometimes the field boundary is quite narrow, and it gets crossed if you drive out of the field. Right, let's open that up. I'm not sure this tractor's got the power to pull this, you know. We're certainly going to find out, aren't we? Right, turn it on, drop it down. Yeah, this could prove harder to do in the time than I thought. 4 miles an hour, 5. Well, we're picking up speed now, we're belting along. Now, what I have found going around the map, look at sort of off screen looking for contracts to do, sometimes you click on the fields and every single one of them says no contract available. My advice, come off of it, click back on, come off, click back on, because this one, it gave me the option of a little compactor, a tiny one. There was a 55-minute contract, and I came off of it, came back on, and it said no contracts available. So when I came off of it and back on a third time, it gave me this option. So yeah, it was a bit weird. But kind of stick with it. There we go, now we're getting somewhere. Whether I'm going to get it done in the time or not, I don't know. Always good to help out those fellow farmers, do a bit of contracting, make a bit of money. Now, I'm thinking, I said I was going to do some contracting. I do need to do hay for the cows up at Mountain View Farm and EP, but I have done a lot of, I did straw bales, I've done silage bales. I'm just very aware that it'll just be another episode of baling, cutting grass, tedding, then baling. I don't want to do that all on screen because that will bore you stupid. What I might do, 3 miles an hour. Whoa. Right, I'm thinking then, change this up a little bit. Going downhill, I should be flying. So what I'm going to do is, rather than go up and down, I'm going to go across the field. That way I should be able to keep up a fair speed. Let's see how that turns out. Whenever I do contracting, it is by no means realistic. I very rarely stop at the end of the field, lift the seeder or plough, whatever it is, turn it round. I'll just get round as quickly as I possibly can. So hopefully I can get a time bonus if I possibly can. So what I'll do now is flick that round and go across, and hopefully doesn't slow down too. It's still uphill this way, isn't it, really? So there we go. The time bonus is not going to be brilliant, is it? Let's be honest. That's if I even manage to do it in the time. Okay, not so bad. Let's go around there. It's not pretty, but it's getting the job done. Yeah, so I'm trying to think what might be best to do today. I might do a couple of contracts to get the money up a little bit. I'm thinking I need to plough out field 15, but I don't know, because I can borrow the Stair Terrace from Joe up at Little Wallhope. What I might do is get a slightly larger plough for the kind of the cooperative. If I've got enough money, trade that one in, get a slightly larger plough. That might make life a little bit easier. Also, I'm thinking of doing an orchard. I might pick one of my fields and stick some fruit trees in, I think. That's the other option. I might do a bit of that. It's just how much manure and stuff I've got on hand to feed them. I can give them water, but we'll see. So a few options. I am going to continue this contract. I will see you in a moment when I've finished. Hopefully a bit of money in the bank. I could have done it with a much smaller seeder, but it would have taken ages. I'll see you in a bit. And there we go. Didn't even have to get close to finishing that one off. That was quite surprising. So was that 7,000? Not quite 8,000, but that will certainly help. I will go and close this gate now. I feel quite bad. What else is available on here? Should I do another one? Let's see which way around it puts this. The Magnum CVX with crawler tracks. Yeah, go on, why not? Just going to put it around the wrong way as well. Yes, of course it is. Just going to push it backwards again. Oh, how am I supposed to hook up to that? That's not helpful. I'll just drag the weight along with me as well. That's annoying. Okay, let's get this open. Try not to get it caught on the fence. So that's quite a width on it. It shouldn't take too long at all, but it's extra money and not to be sniffed at. So let's get that turned on, cruise control on, and let's go. Right. I'm not going to spend the whole episode contracting, but it's nice as opposed to Golden Days of Farming, which were very, very small fields. And even when I did contracting, you didn't make a lot of money, but you could get around quite a few contracts in one go. I like the fact I'm back with bigger fields, bigger machinery. Much as I love doing Golden Days of Farming, this is really good. I've never been a particular fan of... I know on FS15, the New Holland T8 had crawler tracks, smart tracks. I've never been a particular fan of them. It does look good, they're quite impressive. There's the new ones as well now. I think the John Deere, well, it's a 9 something, has got all-round crawler tracks, a bit like the Case Quad track. And I think there's a New Holland version and so on and so forth. A lot of these companies all use the same kind of designs now, even the same chassis and various different things. But anyway, I digress. I will carry on. Another contract in the bag. I will see you in a moment. Nearly there. Goes quick. I always get this one wrong. It's the Vinhuis. I can never remember how you say this one. there any second. Perfect. Another 4,700. Brilliant. 44,000. That will do nicely. Right, let's close those gates. Okay. Where am I actually? I took the contract and didn't even stop to think where I was. Oh, this is the turning to the pig farm, isn't it? I don't run across the road. It is, yeah. That takes you to Stonehill Farm. Right, head back towards Hill Ridge. Oh, I really must take that back. Oh, that reminds me, yes. Someone did say after the theft of the forage harvester, somebody even put down that it was just like a senior moment. I'd forgotten where I put it. No, that's where it was. It's been stolen. It wasn't. It's been taken from the barn. I didn't just forget where the forage harvester was. Secondly, someone did say I shouldn't have left the Merlot out. That belongs to James down at Stonehill Farm, and I should have really taken it back. And you're absolutely right, I should have done. Which brings me on to something else. Mr. Kinnan at River Rock Farm helped me out doing some repair work and stuff on vehicles on Golden Days of Farming. Big C, if you remember. We've got Big Owl over here, but we've also got Mr. Kinnan. Has suggested he's got some security software equipment and sensors and things for tractors and tractor cabs and voice recognition systems that can be wired in. I know I was watching a video the other day. Was it Fence? One of the Fence they were using has got a keypad, so when you get in now you have to type in the key code before it will even start or anything like that. Pretty cool stuff. So yeah, I might go and see him and get that installed. I'm just sort of how many. What have I got here? It's a 5 furrow, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 furrow. It's the Amazon, isn't it? K-Ron. Yeah. Okay, that'll be alright. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to start ploughing out field 15, I think. I'll take that back to James, and then we'll see about fruit trees. 44,000. I can't remember how much they are. 5,000 each, I think. But it'd be nice to get some regular income coming in, other than the cows and stuff. And I do need to finish off the cows, sort the feed out for them, then they can be making us plenty of milk. So let's jump in this. I hope this should have enough horsepower. It should have enough horsepower. The mighty Sammy, which I believe is Italian. Sammy, I think they're an Italian company. I need a jet wash, really need. I haven't got one here, have I? There's got one knocking around. No. Didn't know if you started off with one in the yard, that'd be quite helpful, wouldn't it? Okay. I should really have a front weight on this, because that would be all over the place without one. And there is one here, so you know what? Now, I can honestly say, from experience, because I've done this, driving around with a plough on the back, you have to be incredibly careful going through gates and things like that, so you don't take out fence posts and that kind of thing. To be fair, the one I used was only a 4 furrow. No, that's a 6 furrow. Hang on a minute. I said 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 6 furrow. Oh, that's bigger than I thought. Maybe I won't buy a new one. That might work out fine. Yeah, with it swinging around on the back. Although this one does have like a driving position, because it's got a wheel, hasn't it? I'm only going just here, so I don't really need to worry about that. But yeah, when I turn here, swinging out, watch those fence posts. Let's jump out and get the gate. What I could have done with doing really is slurry spreading or something, but I haven't got enough slurry, haven't got enough manure or anything to do that yet, so it's going to be a case with this one, I think, of maybe weeding and that kind of thing. We'll see how we get on. So let's drop that down. So it would make more sense, wouldn't it, if I was actually on the plough and not the weight on the front. Right, let's drop that down. There we go. Right, okay. Let's get this ploughed. Bit of advice that I was given when I had a go at doing this by the farmer, Rob, who was an amazing guy, was to make sure that one, you're not going to be able to reverse with the plough down, but secondly, what he said, and it depends on the ground, because the ground I was doing ploughing was quite wet and boggy, was to drive forward and then drop the plough as you're driving forward, because you've got more, the momentum of the tractor will help the plough go into the ground and start moving forward. If you drop the plough then try and drive forward, it's got to try and drag that through the ground right from the start. Interesting, hadn't ever really thought about it like that. Obviously it depends on the ground you're working on. Having just said that, he then goes and to make sure I get as much of this field ploughed as possible. That's what I seem to be doing at the moment, is missing all the edging, so I need to get as much of that in. Some of these trees overhang, so what I might have to do as well at some point is come along and maybe chop some of those back. Now this is a fair sized field, it's going to take a while to plough this. So again, this isn't something I'm not going to force you to sit and watch me ploughing a field. But it does need to be done, and it is part of the day-to-day on the farm. I also know that you would go up and down the field. I'm kind of trying to get a headland in all the way around. At some point, if I can get myself, like I've done before on various different maps, get myself a rectangle that a worker can deal with, I can then set a worker off to do the rest. But until that point, I've got to try and do as much as I can. Plus there are 2 telegraph poles, I think, in the middle of this field, which makes life a bit tricky when you're trying to set a worker. They don't tend to like them. If I try and keep that front right wheel on the edge, that should, hopefully, if I look behind me, nope, plough's further over than I thought. Just come over a little bit further. Right, so if I then go, my new gauge then is the right hand side of the bonnet. There's a little kind of bolt type thing sticking up. If I stick with that, now left, I look behind. That's a bit better. That'll be perfect. Okay, so keep that front of the bonnet. I'll put an arrow on that now. That's what I want to keep lined up. So if I keep that lined up with the last furrow that I've done, or the edge, that should help the plough go along behind it, hopefully. Raise up. I have to say, I'm more and more impressed with the physics of this. The more you do it, you don't notice in cab very often when you're doing this. Let's just check behind me. In the corner? I'm in the corner. But when I lower the plough down, you see the whole cab moves with the ploughs actually hitting the ground. Let's just drop that down. It's brilliant. So well done. Right, mirrors, have a look in. Okay. And off we go, right. So we should get back around to the top of the field where I started off in a minute. When we do, I'll carry on with the ploughing. Like I say, this field's going to take a while. That's looking good. Try and keep that lined up. Struggling a little bit uphill, but not too bad. And that should be one pass around the field. Very nice indeed. Right, let's just jump out. Not jump out, look out. Okay, so I need to work out how much of this I need to do, because I think the field goes this way. north-south if I remember from when we did the harvesting. What I'll do, if I set a worker off, let's see which direction it heads naturally. Well, I wasn't far off, okay. So I've got to try and work out a way that's going to work. Right, I'm going to let the worker carry on for a little bit. That'll plough some out, then I can plough around the bits the worker can't do. There we go. Ploughing, field 15. Next job is underway. While my worker ploughs on, I'm full of puns today, ploughs on with the work he's doing, I thought I'd do a bit more contracting. It's becoming an obsession again. Well, I have found something else. I've noticed something. You probably already know this. I'm sure I noticed this. Might be when I did the first look. I'm trying to think now. After what I just said about looking at the fields and when you look at the signs and to go back on and try it, there are two different signs. One says for sale and it's blank. One says for sale and then has like a green sticker on it which says missions available. So you might need to bounce around the map a little bit trying to find the ones that say missions available. I'm going to put pictures of both of those up on the screen now. Okay, so that should be a little bit easier then. As soon as you find one of those, if you click on it and it says missions not available, it might be that it's at the right growth stage and nothing's available, or it might mean you just need to come out, go back onto it again and click it again and the mission will pop up. Not all of the fields do have missions available. There are a lot of those signs that just say for sale, and that I think missions are going to become more available. I hope they are. I assume it's going to be an update. I don't know. We'll see how that pans out. So anyway, a bit more contracting. I thought I'd carry on with, I can't remember what field I was in now. I was so busy chatting away, thinking about the signs that I forgot what one I'm on. Doesn't matter, I'm on that ridge line, the ridge that runs across the top. I might do the harvest and then maybe spray the field as well. I'm trying to raise enough money that I can chip in towards a field that we can put an orchard into. And obviously then some trees for an orchard. So I need enough money to be able to put a few trees in to get going. I may then do some more contracting off screen, who knows, we'll see how that pans out as well. So, I'll see you in a bit. It took a while for the worker to finish, and when I say finish, there's a few spots I need to sort out, so I'm going to do that now. Tractor is, yeah, I do need a jet wash. I've been thinking actually, while I was doing some contracting, it just dawned on me, I've got a couple of bits of equipment that I don't really need, that I could actually probably sell and make a little bit of money added to what I've got now. I'm up to 60,000. What I have done, I did invest a little bit. My money went down a little bit, then it went back up a little bit because of the contracts. But I spent, I think, about 2,000, two and a bit thousand. The cooperative purchased a field. We've purchased a field out by Little Woolhope Farm, Joe's farm, for about 11,000, I think it was. So we've all chipped in. I put about 2 in. I think it was 2,000. But I'm going to pay for all the trees. That's where the orchard's going to go. I'll show you that in the next episode. As you can see, this is where the worker then decided, yeah, don't like a telegraph pole. So it went a bit kind of haywire around the telegraph poles. But again, not to worry, I'm more than capable of sorting that out. Let's turn the plough and get this done. So once I've ploughed these out, this field will then be ready for the next stage. We don't have a fertiliser spreader for solid fertiliser. We've got a fertiliser sprayer, but I prefer to use those when we're doing like actually spraying the crops, almost like a pesticide type thing. I prefer, if possible, to use a solid spreader for when it's like this, and then cultivate it in, that kind of thing. That's the plan. So I'm just going to get these bits done, and then this field will be ready to go for fertilising, seeding, etc. Get that all sorted. I've also been on the phone to Big Al. Big Al's brought up the low loader, because one of the pieces of machinery we're going to get rid of is the forklift. We don't need it at the moment. I've got front loader attachments on this. If we need forks, pallet forks, we'll just put it onto a front loader. It's sitting there, it's not being used, and I don't really need it, so that'll be the next thing to go. So we've got the bit down here, then the last bit down the bottom there, and we will be finished. That's hopefully all. And it didn't take the worker too long. What time is it? 12:10. So what, maybe an hour? Was it an hour? I can't remember what time I started it now. But did a brilliant job. Turn it over. Leading edge. Drop that down. We are nearly there. Right, I'm just going to finish this off, then I'll see you back up at the main yard. We'll load up the vehicle and we'll sort out what we're going to do there. Next episode is going to be some fruit trees, I think. Probably going to go with an apple orchard. It's difficult to grow oranges in the UK because the temperature, the weather's not that great. Although there are a lot of places now down the south coast, because of the way the fields, especially some of the hillsides, where they reckon now the temperatures are almost like the south of France. Areas in France where they're actually quite good for vineyards now. So in the UK they're growing a lot more grapes for wine, and some of them I think are bordering on kind of champagne type thing. So the temperature's not that bad, but I just don't know whether oranges is pushing it just a little bit maybe. It probably is for the UK, especially when you get the cold weather. It's not going to work particularly well. Right, so get this last bit done and I'll see you back up at the farm. Okay, tractor's away, forklift is loaded. What I did was put the forks inside the bucket and then backed up onto hill, although it doesn't seem to like being on trailers very much. I put it up the top there because I was worried about it sliding off, but we'll kind of see how we get on. Right. Let's get beacons on. Engine started. Hopefully we can be able to get out the back way. Same out into the lane here. Got a bit of a turning circle, bit of room the other side. You can see where people have been driving over that repeatedly. It's just mud now, and I'm making that worse, aren't I, by driving onto the grass. Right, like I say, I don't know how far we're going to get before this thing decides it's going to slide and fall off. Down at the store in a bit. Yeah, the other thing I was going to sell, bearing in mind out the Rossall Mash forage harvester is gone, with the header that was on it. We also had a corn header for it. Now I'm thinking if that doesn't get returned, hopefully the insurance will pay out. If the insurance pays out, fantastic. If not, apparently there might be some issue with regard to whether the actual barn was locked. I mean, I don't know. I don't suppose farmers generally farmers don't generally, do they lock their barns? I don't know, you know. You don't often see farm gates locked and that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know, because it wasn't actually locked. I don't know if the keys were left in it. I don't know, but they might not pay out. So we'll see. If they don't, we'll have to buy a new one. If we buy a new one, I don't know if we'll get a Rostal mash again. So realistically, quite just about headroom there. The header that's at the store can be sold. Give us a little bit more money, and then we're aiming towards, like I say, next episode. Hopefully, we'll get some trees in, get an orchard. That'll give us some money and get those watered. I must have a bit of manure, only what I've mucked out so far. There's not a huge amount, but the more cows we get, the more productive we are, the better that is going to be. I also, leaving the golden days of farming, Bluebell Island, yesterday, is that kind of feeling that what I could do is get in touch with the guys over there. Barris has already asked if he can take over the farm, because apparently his farm went bankrupt. Could he take over the farm and run it? Which is, you know, potentially could be a great idea. Let's get those down. Could be a brilliant idea. I'll turn the engine off and jump out. Yeah, he might run it. In which case, I could transfer some of those pigs, some of the cows. I could bring them over on the ferry. At the end of the day, they're mine. I did the same thing. I bought Bluebell Island with the money I made from Drummard. So I could do a bit of that. We'll see how we get on. Right. Yeah, so there we go. Look, the Rostal mash corn header. It's just sitting there now without a forage harvester. There's not much point in having it. So we'll see how we get on with that. Right. Let's raise up a little bit. I did have the bucket pressed down there to try and get those wheels off the ground and hopefully stop it from sliding. Let's get this down. Okay, it's not too bad. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Right. Let's drop that down. I've got absolutely nothing against this mod at all. Nothing at all. The only downside to it being I'm not using it. I've got to remember that. Right. Get those forks out. There we go, into the sell point. Drop that down. Okay, right. Let's sell that. I'm not going to make a lot of money on it. 8,000, fair enough. 4,000, and those 1,165. Okay, and the header, don't know, up to 74. Yeah, I don't know. I might do that next episode. We'll see. Anyway, we've come to the end of another episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've found it useful in some way, shape or form. We've got some more jobs done, bit of contracting, we've earned a bit of money, ready for the next episode, but that's what we need. We need some money, plus I need to spend a bit of money to buy a fertiliser spreader, so that may well be, I'll do a little bit of contracting off screen, I don't know yet. I'll put the, actually you know what, I'll leave the ramps down on that, because if they're going to transport anything else, it might help to have them down to load up. I don't know, I'm sure Al will do whatever he needs to do for that. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, if you've enjoyed it, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share the video, then please be my guest. Whatever you choose to do, thanks for watching.